Hello there, welcome to Over a Couple of Drinks. I am your host, Bill. With me, as always, is my cohort. Say hi, Chris Birch.
Yo. I didn't say hi.
No, you didn't. Behind the scenes man, LB.
Hello.
And our special guest tonight, you know him from our Borderland episodes. He was on our Mad Max review. He's in space. He can't hear you scream because he also just doesn't give a fuck. Welcome, Mr. Ben Kraft from Kraftcast. Say hello.
Heyo. How's it going, everybody?
We have to pimp your shit properly now. So twitch.tv/Kraftcast. That's KRAFTKAST.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And just a tidbit of info. Kraft there is the reason I am LB, because he is Ben and I am Lovable Ben.
No, it was Little Ben.
No.
Because you were dwarfed in our first apartment.
Lovable.
Lovable, sure. Okay, no.
Robot.
So, welcome to the podcast, the actual podcast, not the shitty Let's Plays I put on, or our reviews, or our shitty TV, our news show. That's right. This is the actual podcast, the Over a Couple of Drinks, where we still hate Jimmy Fallon.
Always.
Well, he almost lost his ring finger.
I wish they would have lost his whole life.
Confirmed. Bill wants to kill Jimmy Fallon.
What's everybody drinking tonight? Mr. Birch, what are you drinking?
Don't hate me, but I only have like one bottle of wine and I'm saving it, so that's where I'm at.
Is it for a special occasion?
It is.
No hate.
What kind of wine is it?
Yeah. Is it boxed?
It's called Roadhouse Red.
Okay.
It's really good. It's I had a sampling of it at a wine tasting, and I was like, I'm going to pick this bottle up, and I did.
Okay.
So it's not a nice Chianti?
No.
Chianti. You could have got anything else. You could have got like water, but instead, on Over a Couple of Drinks, you're the DD tonight.
Okay, I can DD.
Mr. Kraftcast, what are you?
Mr. Kraftcast.
Drinking?
Vanilla vodka with Coke, just a vanilla Coke. In a big fucking glass, though.
A big fucking glass. Is it a big fucking glass?
No.
Okay.
No.
Ellie, what are you drinking?
I have Bel Air Brown from Shorts Brew. Pay me money.
Mm-hmm.
That joke never gets old. If you couldn't tell by now, I like brown ales and such a lot, because that's all I drink anymore.
'Tis the season, folks.
Ah.
And I'm rocking a little Oktoberfest. Leinenkugel. Delicious. I'm freezing.
Brought to you by Leinenkugel.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, okay? As long as everybody else isn't freezing, we're fine. Tonight on the show, we have Spielberg movie rank list, musical artists changing their style, a Mario Maker sequel? No, not really. The next Mario Maker, what we talk about, and our best and worst fan theories for movies and stuff.
That's what's on
And
tap.
stuff. Especially the end stuff.
And stuff. Because I don't know if we want to bring back fan theories for a later podcast, as we talk about like game fan theories or book fan theories, or if we just want to cover a bunch now and a bunch later, because it's the internet. It's basically filled with fan theories.
We're going to just talk about fan theories for a few franchises, I would say.
Okay.
Books and movies, etc.
Okay. So, LB, you presented this first. Talk us through this Spielberg movie rank list.
Alright, so I believe this is posted on Yahoo Movies, or Yahoo, or however you pronounce that.
Or whatever
if
you
you're
will.
not me.
Yahoo!
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Okay.
I'm having trouble pulling it up right now, of course.
I got it up. What do you want?
Okay, so basically, they decided to go through, I don't know who they is, the people at Yahoo Movies, decided to go through and rank all of Steven Spielberg's movies.
Schrager.
Yes, he said we. Unless he was using the royal we. Anyway.
Unless he was using we, W-I-I.
You don't think I'm handing off the money and driving the car and directing movies all at the same time, do you?
Yes.
Okay.
So they ranked the Spielberg movies, 29 of his movies, from best to worst. And the best one we'll get to.
Let's go through the list. Do you want to go through? What do you want to do?
I actually have the list written in front of me here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna go through the list from best to worst. All right.
Do we
Here
want
go.
to discuss as we go, or just afterwards rip it apart?
Afterwards, rip it apart.
Okay.
Oh, definitely. All right, let's
So,
go.
just to be clear here, the best is the number 1 slot, right? Because I'm trying to get it loaded up on my page.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with the worst. What they
Oh,
call
I'm
the
so
worst.
mad already.
Which, yeah, you're gonna be mad right away. So the worst, according to this list, Hook,
Okay. 29, 28.
War Horse.
You sure you want to read this one?
Yes, I got it.
Wow.
War Horse.
27,
Always.
26.
Twilight Zone.
25.
The segment Kick the Can.
Which one is Kick
25.
the Can? We'll get into it.
Well, yeah. 25 is Crystal Skull.
Okay.
24 is The Terminal. 23, Amistad. 22, 1941. 21, The Lost World. Then The Color Purple. Munich. Sugarland Express. Saving Private Ryan. War of the Worlds. Last Crusade. Empire of the Sun. Duel. Tintin. Catch Me If You Can. Coming at number 10 is Jurassic Park. Then Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Minority Report. Lincoln. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Artificial Intelligence. Schindler's List. Number 3, E.T. 2, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And 1, Jaws.
Okay. Where do we want to start with this list? Because there's a lot of problems. Do you want to talk about the good first?
Let's start with how awesome that animated GIF of Jaws is at the very bottom of the page.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I was happy to see Close Encounters of the Third Kind so high up because I love that movie, and I think that movie isn't normally as recognized as being a good a movie as it is.
That's like my number 1 movie where they skull mashed potatoes.
It might help that I am a tuba player, and the tuba features very prominently in the score for that movie.
Let me dive in real quick about the good. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I agree with mostly, maybe some shifting of places. I feel like Close Encounters should be number 5.
Okay.
Okay? 7, good. And I feel like Jurassic Park should be higher up than Temple of Doom.
Why is Temple of Doom higher than Jurassic Park?
Temple of Doom is a shitty movie.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think Last Crusade should be pretty higher up there too.
I think it
My
should be higher than
personal
Temple of Doom, as we talked
We're
about.
going through positives here. We're going through positives.
opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I agree. Temple of Last Crusade should be higher. Honestly, Last Crusade and Temple of Doom should switch spots, and then I'd be okay with Jurassic Park at 10. I think that's all the positive I can say. So, anybody else can say anything positive?
I think Crystal Skull is at a decent range. Obviously, I haven't seen all of his movies, so I can't fairly rank.
either,
You know,
Okay, let's
Did anybody see Adventures of Tintin?
I have.
No,
It's
I did too. Actually,
It's pretty all right. It's pretty all right.
okay,
Should we just open the can of worms right now
sure,
with number 29?
yeah.
Why
The worst part of the list.
Did some actual human being think that Kingdom of the Crystal Shit is better? Is a worse, or a better movie than Hook?
Here's the thing. Do you guys know that Hook bombed at the box office?
Right.
I know it bombed. I
Right.
know a lot of people hate it. Like,
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Dude.
I mean, I guess it's different than his other movies, which is fine.
But
Yeah.
okay,
For the longest time, I didn't know that was Dustin Hoffman. That's how good that is.
Yeah.
right,
I thought that
Right.
was Captain Hook. I thought they brought Captain Hook out of the fucking book and put him in the movie.
I
right.
still watch it. I'm like, that's not Dustin Hoffman. That's okay.
Captain
Okay,
Hook.
I'm not crazy there. Okay, we're all. So I don't get it. Like, yes, it's goofy. Yes, it's over the top, but it's supposed to be.
Well, a lot of people say that, it's Peter Pan.
It's a fucking children's movie.
Has anyone read the book? It's completely over the top. But, like, some people say that it's uneven pacing. How is it uneven pacing?
I don't know how it's uneven pacing. I mean, I usually watch this. This is in like my rotation of every at least 2 years. I need to watch this film.
Now, in this list, some of the things they complain about, it's over melodramatic. They say the father trying to win back his son specifically is kind of like over the top and cheesy. But I just think that's part of what makes the movie so great. I mean, I think it's over the top in
Tiresome visual
today's
gags.
standards.
It would have been over the top if
If it was
Robin
made
Williams had not put an honest performance in, which I think he did.
He did.
I think Robin Williams put in an excellent performance in this movie. Like, he
Did
was
you-
just...
I was gonna say, did you break a glass, LB?
I'm good.
Oh,
You
Okay.
dropped the bottle.
you drunk ass. Like, some people are saying that he's way too goofy in this movie. I completely disagree. I don't see any at all
Like,
from him in this movie.
He's the straight man in the movie.
Yeah.
he's the
for
straight
most
man
of it.
until he becomes Peter Pan. And remember, when he becomes Peter Pan again, he starts forgetting everything that was being an adult.
As Peter Pan does.
So, I don't understand. Hook is a fantastic film. Fuck this list.
Julia, I mean, is it because Julia Roberts is in it?
Hey,
Like,
Julia Roberts.
I
do
do
too, but
think
it's not
she's
enough
the
to
worst
make me
part
hate
of the
the movie.
movie.
she is. She's the worst Tinkerbell to ever exist, but, like, she's not enough of a character for me to give a shit. Like, I'm still gonna watch the movie.
The Tinkerbell in all those stupid 1-hour movies they put out on Netflix are better than.
That's
Julia Roberts.
true. Those are more the essence of Tinkerbell than Julia Roberts.
And I'm sorry, like, if you have a generation of people that, when you get them in a room, you start going Rufio, Rufio, they're going to start chanting Rufio.
Yeah.
Because people like that movie.
The list kind of points out that this movie is generally well liked by people of a certain age, which I assume would be people of our age range.
Well,
But
Because people
That's
older and
how it
younger than
is.
us don't know how to have fun. Fuck the millennials.
wait, I think we are millennials.
we're technically millennials.
Technically, yeah.
I disregard that.
We're
Ask
we're
the
the older millennials.
Question. Who named us millennials? Can we change it? Because I hate that.
I think we could probably.
I
vote
consider
to change
everybody
it.
born like after 93 to be in the millennial age range. I think we're like
Specific year.
Are we-
Generation Y.
1993.
But
I think we're Generation Y.
Generation
No.
Y morphed into the millennials is the problem.
Yeah, Generation Y and millennials are the same thing.
I think they're two separate camps, like right next to each other.
Oh, I got you. I also don't like Generation Y. Can we just be called Generation Awesome?
No, even better. Generation Hook.
I'd be down with that. I'd vote for it.
You heard it here first,
Okay.
Generation Hook. Cheers. Cheers.
Generation Rufio.
Rufio.
Bangarang.
Bangarang, bangarang.
Bangarang. Generation Bangarang. Rufio! I don't care about Warhorse. That was him fishing for an Oscar.
I've never seen it, yeah, but
Right.
I'm
My
kind
other
of
really-
disappointed. Go ahead.
I was just saying, my other one that I'm like violently opposed to is I don't know why War of the Worlds is above Saving Private Ryan.
I don't know why War of the Worlds is so high to begin with.
I don't know-
Especially,
Here, let's talk about what's shockingly high, okay? Number one on my list, AI. That movie is garbage. Did you ever wonder what a live-action Pinocchio would look like set in the future? Watch AI with a terrible child actor.
and be depressed for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and who else? Who else is in that film? Who's the adult in that one?
The mother?
No, not the mom.
The robot guy?
Yeah,
Jude Law?
Jude Law. Can we just put him down, please?
I like Jude Law.
Like,
Because for
just
the longest
tell
time,
him
I
it's
didn't know
time.
Jude Law and Ian McGregor were two different people.
Just
Holy
tell
shit, that
him
was
that
Haley
it's
Joel
time for
Osment.
him to
Yeah,
stop.
Haley Joel Osment can't act his way out of a paper bag playing Pinocchio as a robot. Number two, too high on the list, Minority Report. Ugh.
That's getting a show now for some reason.
Well, so is Limitless, so that just goes to show you that shitty movies are now getting TV shows. Shots fired.
I never saw Limitless.
I felt like Catch Me If You Can was horribly overrated.
I love that movie, actually.
I
I think it's a
forgot.
little
he
high,
did it.
but I like it.
I completely forgot that was him. Who
I
made
wouldn't
that
put it
movie.
higher than Empire of the Sun.
No. And then
I saw it like in middle school and I haven't seen it since.
War of the Worlds is too high.
Way too
Saving
high.
Private Ryan is too low.
Yeah,
Yep.
that movie's great.
And then fucking Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is too high.
Yeah. I feel like The Terminal could have been higher.
It was cutesy.
It should be at basically the same place as Crystal Skull, at least.
Yeah.
I just think it's a smaller film, but I like it. But I'm a Tom Hanks fan.
Yeah, but
I love Tom Hanks.
it wasn't trying to be anything else, you know?
I just realized how many fucking Tom Hanks films Steven Spielberg has made. Jesus Christ.
It's almost like directors have actors they like working with.
Yeah, I know,
It's a
but
shock.
Holy shit.
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino, yeah.
I don't know what this okay, let's talk about the top 3. Anybody got any problems with those?
Yes.
Arrangements?
Yes.
Top three, top
E.T.,
three.
Raiders, and Jaws, in that order.
Yes. I do have. I don't have a problem with the arrangement so much. It's just that I'm not that big a fan of ET.
I would rather put Schindler's List in that spot.
Yeah, I can kind of leave E.T.
Slot number 3.
Okay, so we're saying Schindler's List at 3.
Honestly, Jurassic Park should be in the top 5.
Agreed.
I'd agree with that.
So we would say
Spared no expense.
5 being Jurassic Park, 4 being E.T.,
God.
3 being Schindler's List.
AI is so high up there.
I know.
Listen, that movie makes you want to eat a gun because it's boring.
It's boring.
So it should be like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull at 29 and then AI at 28.
No.
You know what the best?
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull at 50.
Do you know what the best part of AI is?
The fact that it ends.
No. Ted Jr.
This
I
is
would
why we
also
were roommates.
say, I don't know if I would be agreed with on this, but I feel like I loved the movie Lincoln. I really did.
I haven't seen
But
it.
it's not a. If I was asked, do you want to watch Lincoln right now or watch Jurassic Park right now? I would probably want to watch Jurassic Park. Like I love Lincoln. It's a great, but it's you watch it just to watch.
Yeah, you watch
Daniel
it
Day-Lewis.
once and you don't watch it again. Kevin.
Jurassic Park is one of those movies I could watch again and again and again. I watched it yesterday. I'll watch it today. I'll watch it again tomorrow. I love that movie.
Quiet, all of you.
It's like when I was watching Jurassic World, I thought I could
They're
never watch
approaching the
this movie
Tyrannosaurus
again
paddock.
and be happy, but I have to watch Jurassic Park again every year.
They're approaching the Tyrannosaurus paddock.
And like so part of like why Jurassic Park is so good as well. And like I think again it might have to do with our generation, but it's really, really fucking quotable. Like a movie that is that quotable has to be higher on the list. Because you know they did something
Stupid
right.
quotes.
Well, like hold on to your butts, you know, like Samuel L. Jackson, stuff like that.
Say that one all the
it's
time.
it's within my
Clever girl.
It's easily within maybe my top 10 most quotable movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Only because number 1 is The Princess Bride. Number 2 is Big Trouble in Little China.
Is that really that quotable?
Have you met my family?
Okay. For you, yes, okay.
I said my most quotable movies
Okay,
of all time.
fair enough.
Today I literally had a conversation with my dad about Jack Burton quotes.
We should make that a topic for maybe our next podcast.
Yeah,
Most
we should.
quotable
That'd be fun.
movies.
I personally feel Raiders is better than Jaws. I know I'm in a minority there, but I like Raiders more, and I know I'm playing my
I
favorite card.
think Raiders is more fun certainly than Jaws, and it's also got that kind of the tenseness of Jaws, but not in like a horror fashion. So
Jaws to me moves slow in the middle, and when you're first watching it, it's fine, but on repeat watches, it's rough.
Raiders is the one where they go into the library and have to break open the floor, right?
Nope, that's Last
No,
Crusade.
it's Crusade.
That's Last Crusade? Okay.
Raiders is the one with the bar fight that leads to the poison monkey from Dates, Bad Dates, and Egypt, and
Fucking Ark.
and the Ark. Of
No, I know the
Covenant,
Ark of the Covenant. I know that part.
and they call him Bolosh. Belloc. Belloc. Raiders is in the top 5 most quotable movies of all time.
I put Jurassic Park above all of those, to be honest.
I want to, but I don't think I can.
I'm just not a big fan of Raiders, to be honest.
I know you're not, and that's fine.
I think probably Last Crusade is my top of that trilogy.
Yeah, that's how I am too. We're in the minority.
No. You're actually in the majority.
I know. I think most people like
people,
Raiders.
Most people in Generation Bangarang believe Last Crusade.
Generation Bangarang confirmed.
I'm sure most people like Raiders better, but because they
pre-Gen Xers, what do we call them? Baby boomers? Why do the baby boomers last for 40 fucking years? Okay, question mark.
I don't know, but they do.
Like,
because that's how long radioactive fallout
1944 to 1965 or something like
that.
Yeah,
baby boomers last that long, and then the 70s is Generation X or something like that. It's when they were born, and then
because
we got the short end of the stick as Generation Bangarang, as we're not recognized.
I think it's because like
I'm subtitling this podcast Generation Bangarang.
Please do.
Generation Bangarang.
the amount of time between like when people had kids, it was a bit shorter. Like after the war, like
Yeah.
people coming home from service, they want to bang their wives and all that stuff, and then you have a whole bunch of kids, and that's the baby boomers. And then those kids grew up and waited until they were in their 20s to marry and have kids. But like as the generations go on down the line, just kind of that age range for having kids gets smaller.
Let's just put it this way: between the four of us here, we're all about 25 to 30 age range. We have 1.5 kids. So,
Gonna be 2 by next week.
Gonna be 2 next week.
And it's all on me. You're welcome.
And anytime you add 0 to an occasion, it doesn't really do anything. So I'm sorry.
No, it's just okay. So let's, if we could, as a group, before we move on, let's reshape the top 10 to be the actual top 10.
I don't know.
Steven
if I can
Spielberg
do that right now. Can we come back to that at the end of the podcast?
No, we're gonna do it right now. We can all agree that Jaws is number 1-ish.
We must
right?
strike while the metal is hot. Yes, I think so.
I mean,
It made people afraid to go to beaches, for Christ's sake.
because we have our 5. We have Jaws at 1, Raiders at 2, 3 was Schindler's List, 4 was, did we say Jurassic Park or E.T.?
I'd say Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. I'm gonna go with Jurassic Park. Executive decision.
All right.
5 is E.T., right?
Okay.
So we just got 4 more. What deserves to be in the top 10?
Close Encounters.
Close Encounters is number 6. Let's put Last Crusade at 7.
Okay. Where does Hook go?
Hook at 8. Everybody have Birch?
Hook at 8. I'm Hook at 8. I'm cool with that.
All right, 9. What
Did
is
that
number
last
9?
Friday?
What?
Nothing.
That's Friday.
Saving Private Ryan, number 9.
9 Saving Private Ryan. I'm for
9.
that.
Okay.
Yep.
10. We got one more.
Let's go with.
Duel.
No.
I didn't see that. I didn't know what the movie is.
I don't remember Duel. I really don't.
It's a made-for-TV movie, but it's about this guy who's being pursued by a faceless trucker. Like you never see the guy who's in the semi-truck that's chasing him down, but it's like all about suspense and drama.
Yeah, I know that one.
I have to ask a question. Did we just put Hook above Saving Private Ryan?
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Okay.
Because Saving Private... Okay,
I'm
listen, Saving
okay with
Private
that.
Ryan is good for one reason and one reason alone. Vin Diesel gets shot early on.
I was going to say because Nathan Fillion's in it. Out of all these movies, that's the only movie he's in.
He's in it. It's great. He is in it. There's a lot of great moments in Saving Private Ryan, but it gets a little heavy-handed towards the end with an anti-war message.
Yeah.
It's a little too harsh for me.
Fair
All right.
enough.
Number 10, let's just do... Maybe we should do like a more serious film.
I feel like Temple of Doom would be 11. Well,
Schindler's List at 10?
no, Schindler's List was at 3.
Oh, it was like way up there, yeah.
Lincoln?
Lincoln?
I haven't seen it. Birch?
Would you put it at 10?
I might be okay with that. It's an important movie because of what it talks about, but again, it's not like it's a movie you're going to be like, oh, I could quote that. I don't know one line from that movie.
All right, that's where we're going. That's our 10.
So,
Okay. Well, I would say between that and Munich. So I think Munich was pretty...
So, Lincoln or Munich, Saving Private Ryan, Hook, Close Encounters, E.T., Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, Lost Ark, Jaws.
I can get with that.
Better list.
That is an actual better list than this published who got pushed around on Facebook.
I would put my name behind that.
We just did. Over a couple of drinks approved.
Bangarang.
Bangarang Rufio.
One day we're going to look back like a year from now and people are going to be actually circulating with Generation Bangarang. I hope. That's my dream.
If we
But
can
we
get
won't
that
be
off the
credited.
ground. No, we won't be credited at
It's
all.
the groundswell. It'll just keep on expanding out.
All right, so we're good with this one?
Yep.
Okay, the next one was my topic, called Music Artists Changing Style. And a little background on this is that, oh god, when was that? Like a few years ago now? When did REM come out? Random access.
Ariane, my wife?
That's me in the corner.
Yes.
That's
REM.
in the spotlight. Random Access Memories.
Random Access Memory came out in
Came out
2013.
2 years ago.
Okay, so that's the Daft Punk album, and it actually caught a lot of flack from punk fans. Daft Punk, what do we call ourselves?
I don't
Shellheads?
think they really have a name for it.
We're calling us Shellheads now. Coined it.
Okay.
Because people said that it wasn't very Daft Punky enough.
But
Okay.
I mean,
So
out of the four of us here, there are two of us who are pretty big Daft Punk fans, and one person who's bigger than me is Kraft. Well,
and
you're
LB is a Daft Punk.
LB is. So, I mean, Birch, you're an outsider here. We're going to ignore you now.
That's fine.
Well, as an outsider, have you heard Daft Punk's music before?
You've probably heard Get Lucky.
I know that Get Lucky. I know that. I've heard the
Harder, Better, Faster,
Pentatonics did like
yeah.
a remix of it.
They
Yeah,
did.
and I've heard their songs through them. And they were the ones who did Tron Legacy. Yeah.
Yeah, they did the orchestral score and everything for that. They composed it.
Yeah,
So-
I know that.
Okay.
So, well, let's start with that Random Access Memory. LB, what did you think of the album? You didn't listen to it, did you?
Album? I don't listen to albums. I listen to songs.
Okay,
Sorry.
what songs did you listen to on it?
What songs are on it?
Let me pull up a track listing here.
Just the one with Get Lucky on it?
Yes, Get Lucky.
Yes. It's the really funky album.
I haven't listened to that album.
Okay.
What good are you?
I don't
Okay.
listen to music.
Give Life Back to Music, The Game of Love, Giorgio by Maduro, I don't know how to pronounce that. Within, Instant Crush, Lose Yourself to Dance, Touch, Get Lucky, Beyond, Motherboard, Fragments of Time, Doing It Right, Contact Horizon.
Let me just talk about Get Lucky then. I thought it was okay. It's not great. It's a song.
Completely agree. It was an okay song. Kraft, what did you think of it? The whole album?
Well, okay. So, as far as that goes, like I had kind of a different perspective when I was like researching this topic. Can I kind of go off on a tangent, if you would?
We're going to
That's
stick
what
to
we
this,
do
and
here.
then we're going to go to the tangent, but if you're going to go where you're going to
Okay.
go, just go with it. Go with it. Go with it. Ride the
Okay,
wave,
so like with Random Access Memories, right? If you listen to the album, throughout all the tracks, there's a lot of live instruments.
Mhm.
There's drums, guitars, bass, all these things, piano,
Singers.
singers. Yeah, exactly. And it's more than you've ever seen from a production standpoint for Daft Punk, save except for maybe the Tron Legacy soundtrack. But it's just one of those things that it's just so much bigger at this point. And yeah, it's not got a whole lot of samples in it. It's not got a whole lot of synth in it. But the reason I think that is because Daft Punk themselves, Thomas Mangalter and Guy Manuel de Home Cristo, which that's a long fucking name. They, throughout their careers, have just been expanding as they've been growing. And it's kind of a weird dynamic because they're supposed to be robots, but their career is very organic. And it's just growing because it's this organism.
Somebody said it the best when I heard they go, it's not my kind of album for Daft Punk, but I like it because they got to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you know, I agree with that, but after I heard some backlash and I had some time to really process the whole album, I went back and I listened to Human After All, I listened to Discovery, and then I listened to Tron Legacy, and then I listened to Random Access Memory. And you can clearly see the stepping stones they took to evolve into Random Access Memory.
Yeah.
And it's not that far off, because, I mean, you take songs like Instant Crush, and if you were to swap Instant Crush onto Discovery, you probably wouldn't have never noticed. You know? Because it's very similar to, say, Digital Love or Something About Us. Same with Fragments of Time, even though it doesn't have the synthesized voice.
Yeah.
Doing It Right, same way. God, I love Touch. Touch is a great song. Or The Game of Love. All those sound like they could go on Discovery very easily. And then you go back to Discovery and you listen to things like, oh shit, what ones were there? Voyager. I'm going to purchase this. Is this Virtus? Virtus Quo?
Very Quo. Yeah.
Verdict Quo. That sounds like it could be on Random Access Memory without a problem. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing my point is there a problem with musical artists changing their styles over time? Because another really big example that fits into this is, and love her, hate her, whatever, she did it, and she did it with flying colors, is Taylor Swift. She started as a country song, and now she's dominating pop
Pure
charts.
pop, yeah.
So, I mean, what is our thing? What classifies, selling out or just evolving? Pokemon style.
Pokemon style.
Do 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 do.
Press B,
do,
press B,
do, do,
press B.
do, do, do.
I think I mean, I don't have a problem with an artist involving over time.
They got to be careful how they do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, so I think the kind of main difference, right, is that Daft Punk have been around since the middle to late 90s as like a recognized group. They've been making music since before that, but as Daft Punk, they've been around since the mid to late 90s. Taylor Swift hasn't been around as long as they have. So kind of I think the difference here is the fact that like for Taylor Swift, maybe it can kind of be seen as a cash grab to kind of cash in on what's popular and the sound that she's making. Whereas Daft Punk, I think it's just an evolution of their style.
See, I think out of the two, though, that Taylor Swift had more to lose. She had a lot more to lose because, you know, Daft Punk can do whatever they want on their albums. The live show is still going to be techno awesome,
Well,
you know, techno love.
And people are still going to go, oh, it's those Robot Guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, with Taylor Swift, she had a hardcore following for country, you know, love songs, and then made a very jarring jump. And she did it really, really well without losing many fans at all.
Can I just say something?
I know my Taylor Swift too much? You're right.
No.
What's up, Tay Tay?
I love-
Call me.
I love Taylor Swift's music. Country, pop, I don't care. I don't know why. I don't know.
she's
Out of
got-
all the
she's got the
popular
earworm.
music, I like her stuff. I don't know.
Birch, what do you think about Tay Tay?
I like a couple of her songs. I don't think I'm like on board the I'm a huge fan train, but I'll listen to it and I mean, especially like a lot of her newer stuff is really not bad. So yeah.
I can't help it. It's too catchy.
Mhm.
It's too catchy.
I think especially like there was a time like when the two songs of hers all over the radio were like that Never Ever Getting Back Together thing, and then Trouble When You Walked In, which I got fucking sick of. But most of her new stuff is like not overplayed, but it's enough to be like.
But at the same time, there was like a time where in the radio that she played two back-to-back songs. I didn't know one of them was her.
Mhm.
It was like
There's still times when I hear it, I'm like, this is Taylor Swift?
what was
Like,
it?
yeah.
What's the one song where I stay out too late? Got nothing in my brain.
Shake It Off.
Shake It Off. Yeah.
Shake it off.
Shake It Off. Shake
And then
It Off.
Blank Space came up, and that's before
Blank
I knew Blank
Space
Space
is
was
a really good song.
There's
Like,
Postmodern Jukebox, their version of Blank Space,
even better.
heavenly. Okay, it's like what is it? Like cabaret style or whatever. It's real good. So, I know you had more to talk about this, Kraft. You wanted to talk about Nine Inch Nails?
Well, so very quick recap on Daft Punk, though, because I did a lot more notation on them. Because I kind of very quickly, before in doing prep for this, went through and kind of very quickly scanned through the albums. Homework, which is their first album, right?
Yeah.
You can tell that it's just like two guys in an apartment somewhere, like banging out these tracks, and that they're DJing at the clubs at night. And you can tell that's kind of the influence behind it. In Discovery, you can tell there's a lot more studio production behind it, because they actually had launched with Homework and then, got some notoriety from it, and they actually had gotten some studio time with Discovery. Human, After All, they're branching out more and more. They're including more live instruments with guitar and drums as much as they can, and sometimes vocals, their own vocals, instead of using samples and synth, right?
Then Tron Legacy, which...
And then Tron Legacy, which is in completely orchestral score. The only song on that album, I believe anyway, that sounds really like Daft Punk is End of Line Club.
Yeah, and to a degree, what was The Fall?
Yeah.
That was a little techno-y.
Maybe Derezed.
Derezed, and I think Solar Train sounded a bit much like something you'd find off of Discovery.
Okay.
A bit,
Yeah,
but,
and then-
but utterly amazing.
Yeah.
I remember, go down memory lane real quick, I once jokingly said that if the three of us, the Bens and me, when we lived together, we should make a 1980s-esque science fiction adventure film, and we wanted Deadmau5 to do the whole soundtrack because I wanted that feel. Then, like 2 years later, Tron Legacy comes out with Daft Punk, and I'm like, we were so close.
So close.
But yeah, and it's just, like with other examples from popular media, like Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, he had a lot of turbulence in his career and everything like that, and it caused him to kind of change how he looked at things. And post-rehab Trent Reznor is, I think, a lot softer than pre-rehab Trent Reznor.
I can see that. Yeah.
But he still like has his own different sound, different style, and all that stuff. And I remember when Year Zero was coming out, he was talking about how you can very much nowadays just have a laptop on a tour bus and you can just throw sounds at it and use programs and like change how things sound, and you can make a whole album out of just that inside your tour bus, and that's basically what he did. So it's just kind of him evolving and kind of expanding what he knows how to do and still having his own flair on it. And there are people that don't like those new albums from Nine Inch Nails. I like them, but there are people that are like, oh, it's not as good as the old stuff, you know? That and deadmau5, same thing with deadmau5. Like, when he started out, he was doing a lot of electro and techno, but he goes about his music in a weird way where he just experiments with whatever he has in the studio. In his home studio, if you've ever seen pictures of it, there's patch panels fucking everywhere. Like, he's got so much goddamn equipment and so many wires. I don't even know how he does it. But he kind of more and more moved into... He more and more moved into a dubstep kind of sound throughout the years. And then within like the last year or so, he did a set that was all techno electro, and people were like, whoa, where did this come from? We didn't know he could do this. And it's like, if he had been there from the beginning, you would know, you know?
It's you know, I don't blame him for going to a dubstep, because dubstep blew up big, and he could do it, you know, and he'd do it well, and he did it very, very well.
Yeah.
It just, what I don't understand is people who follow a band who don't go through the back records. You know, someone who becomes a fan of it and just goes, well, I didn't know they could do this. Why didn't you go through the back records? It's like saying, you know, I didn't know Sugar Ray was a heavy metal band before Fly.
I didn't know that.
They were heavy metal, but they weren't going anywhere. So Fly came out as this weird, like, you know, pop rock song, took off through the charts, and so the next album was all that. It was just, so they gave up their heavy metal thing. You know, I don't blame people for selling out too much. That's just me, though.
It's all about integrity, man. Fuck integrity.
All I know is that I kind of really want to watch Interstellar 4-5 again.
It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
So, I was actually considering that as well. The animation came after, right?
Yeah, that came out in...
Or was that where they were kind of... Because I know it's Leiji Matsumoto is the animator.
It came out in 2003.
Or director.
The album debuted by...
99?
01?
01? Okay.
01-ish. It says basically 1999 to 04, which was like their development time. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming it came out along with it, but they had it for a while. I remember seeing One More Time on TRL, man. You guys remember that? No? Okay.
I don't remember seeing that on TRL, but that's entirely possible.
I remember seeing the music videos like Cartoon Network.
When I watched Interstellar 4-5 at your dorm room, man, I was like, this was on TRL.
Pretty much.
That was awesome.
TRL.
TRL.
Is that even still a thing?
No, it's gone.
Carson Daly.
It's
gone.
All right, we're...
Speaking of deadmau5 as well, in TRL, just, I know this is a complete tangent.
Welcome to the podcast.
But he was like, there's an infamous Twitter screen capture from him where he's like, man, fuck MTV, they don't even play music anymore. And MTV responded back, was like, oh, every day, 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. And he's like, yeah, do you know who your fucking audience is?
All right.
Did we lose Birch?
We lost Birch. That's perfect time to go on break real quick. We'll catch you back on the flip side. Hold on to your butts.
Hey, kids. Wow.
That was a little Kraft on break right there. Deal with it. Just deal with it.
I'm so confused.
The music was going. Don't worry about it.
Just deal with it.
Just deal with it. And you know what? Just deal.
Sorry.
Wow.
You said that the recording had stopped. I thought it was okay.
No, we were going.
Okay. Well, shit.
The recording was stopped, but we were going.
We're full speed ahead. Fuck the consequences. Welcome back to Over a Couple of Drinks. I know you didn't go anywhere since it was only like 10 seconds. We got Birch back.
Hey. Computer was just like, you're not contributing enough to this conversation, so we're just going to cut. Now I'm back.
Okay, so the next topics were all me because you guys fucking failed at life. And we didn't throw this podcast together in like 2 days.
We promise.
Less.
Yeah, so a week ago, 2 weeks ago, Mario Maker came out. It was for the 30th anniversary of Super Mario Bros., right?
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Jesus Christ, is it just going to be me talking for an hour? Fuck.
It's Mario Maker.
Mario Maker is a game for Wii U in which you can make your own Mario level and do it in the themes of Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, or New Super Mario Brothers.
Now available
I have
for
this
Wii
game.
U.
It looks amazing. The problem, one of the main problems with it is that everyone's trying to make their own Kaizo Mario, which are super hard levels, which is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But
Or autoplay levels.
autoplay levels, or like the stuff that you'd see all the time on like hacks and stuff. But what's exciting about this is that it's real easy to use. Anybody can do it. Anyone can pick it up, and it's fun as hell to watch. And I bet it's fun as hell to play. They have a bunch of content on there on like 100-man mode, where you have 100 Marios to beat like X amount of courses, ranging from easy, medium to expert, and it's kind of awesome. It's really great. It makes me want to get a Wii U. Someone send me a Wii U to our.
I have
You
one.
got a PS4, Bill. You just got one
I
there.
can sell it and get a Wii U.
That would be stupid, Bill.
PS4 doesn't have
not be
Bayonetta
stupid.
2.
Do it.
So
I should do it. It's brilliant. So, my question was, because this is kind of like a big hit, and kind of put Nintendo squarely back on the mark again, because they've actually been having a solid run that people just haven't been paying attention to. Honestly, Wii U has a lot of great titles out, and my question to you guys is, since Mario Maker is kind of like the big hit, what's going to be the next X Maker, blank Maker, or whatever?
Minecraft Maker.
That sounds terrible. The ones that came to mind were like Metroid Maker.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think that'd be cool. Do it in the style of Super, of course.
You're thinking
Well, and
Legend of Zelda Maker?
The Legend of Zelda.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm in my mind, I'm also thinking like what like games they could do to do the different styles. So like original Metroid, Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, and then like this new age S Metroid. And then for like Zelda, it would be Zelda, Link to the Past, Minish Cap, and then Link Between Worlds. Like those core styles. I think they'd be really cool.
well, and they have the same perspective as well.
Mm-hmm.
3/4 overhead. So I think like for Zelda and maybe Super Metroid, to keep them fresh, you'd probably need to have some sort of like boss generator.
A boss generator and like
You couldn't. You could reuse the same bosses, but you'd need to have a way for people to create their own bosses.
make their own bosses, like make different styles of bosses, and like make it so that like instead of like 100-man mode, it would be like, let's say you built a small dungeon for Metroid. It would put you into a larger map of Metroid based off of like other people's stuff. I think that'd be really cool. Same like with Zelda, like an endless dungeon mode where you just keep going through dungeon through dungeon through dungeon.
You know what'd be really cool, but I know they could never ever do? Procedurally generated Metroid.
That'd be cool.
When you turn it on for the first time, it generates the entire planet of Zebes for like randomness sake, and then like the next time, like if you have a save game, that'll maintain that Zebes. But then like the next time you want to start up a new game of Metroid, it'll completely generate the new world again.
I don't think that'd be too hard to do. I mean, I think it would take a little bit more coding, but like you look at things like The Binding of Isaac, where every time you play it, it's different. I mean, yeah, it's more Zelda than Metroid, but it's kind of similar. You just kind of have it so the game goes, this is locked out. This portion of the game is locked out until you get super missiles. You will get the super missile at the 4th boss, or the next playthrough you'll get it at the 2nd boss. I think that would be entirely possible, and Nintendo, you should totally do that.
Insert royalty check here.
Woo!
We now accept checks. How's the credit card machine going? Can you accept credit card machines yet? Okay.
How about Zombies Ate My Neighbor's Maker?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I hated that game.
Hey, fuck you.
No, because I could never do well at it as a child.
Well, that's a fun game though.
That'd be fun. Sonic Maker.
Yeah.
But I mean, the only objective in Sonic is going fast.
Sometimes left, sometimes right.
Mostly right.
I don't think I've ever seen a single Sonic game go left.
So
it's like
Chemical
it's
Zone
like-
has you go left for a chunk.
It's God
Sonic
damn it.
2.
I was gonna be like, so there's like a Sega board meeting, like when everything's tanking with the Dreamcast. They're like,
Fucking go left.
What can we do? Have him go left.
Birch.
No.
Give us a maker.
What about like Well, no, I guess that wouldn't make sense. I was thinking like a Portal Maker, but
That could work. I mean, essentially, Mario Maker is Nintendo officially giving you a mod, like a mod kit. That's all it is a mod kit. So I mean, Valve kind of does that because they just keep everything open source because they don't care, because they made tons of bank off of somebody else's mod called Counter-Strike, because Counter-Strike was a fan-made game. So
Before it got officially purchased, and Team Fort. Well, no, Team Fort 2 is made by Valve in house.
Team Fort C was made for another game and then brought over?
Yeah.
Mark? And look at, I mean, if you want to go into like the whole modding community, look at like quote unquote the biggest games on the face of the planet, the MOBAs. They all spawned from Warcraft 3.
Yes.
Defenders of the Ancients, which was the original Dota. The original Dota. And Blizzard was like, okay, and then Dota 2 got picked up by Valve. And like they're making money hand over fist, and League of Legends is making more money than that, and they're just banking everybody off.
And then HOTS.
HOTS.
Heroes of the Storm.
Not Heart of the Swarm, but Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
I play all of those.
I don't know. I think like a procedural generated first person shooter would be pretty cool, or like
isn't that called Tower of Bullets or something like that?
Oh, did they have something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It's like Tower of Gun or something like that.
Tower of Guns?
Tower of Guns? I don't know. There's something that where it's,
I know
it
there's
gets harder as it goes up.
There's Paranautical Activity, and Paranautical Activity had controversy because one of the creators threatened to kill Gabe Newell.
Woo!
And it got pulled from Steam.
Yep.
And like as soon as it got pulled from Steam, I went to Humble Store and bought a key for it. I was like, "Fuck it, I need this game."
I think it would be really cool if it would have to be in 2D sense, a GTA maker.
Okay. Like GTA 1 or GTA 2 where it's overhead?
Yeah, like overhead. I think that would be easy enough to do. And I think there would be a lot of fun things to do that, like, you were given a block of town to make crimes and stuff to do, and then people could just hop in and wreak havoc with everybody on it, kind of like a GTA Online. I think it also might be a little... Give it a few years, like they could do maybe GTA 4 style, maybe not up to the asks of the graphics behind GTA 5, but you could probably build a town and have people jump in it and play it. Like, just mix a little bit of SimCity with it.
Not that it goes along with the Maker theme, but what about like a GTA MMO where there are certain characters? No, I'm just saying like there are certain characters that are played by Rockstar employees, and they would give you missions as far as like your particular character. I know that'd be a lot of work. That'd be a fuck ton of work. But like say like the top of the leaderboards, right? Whoever's at the top of the leaderboards, you'd walk up to a payphone in the game, you'd pick it up and go, "Hey, this skunk lover 54 guy, like he's causing bad trouble down in Chinatown. Go take him out." And it would give you their current location, like where the player currently was when they were logged on online. And if you went there and took them down, you get the bounty for it.
I don't think that would be too hard.
That'd be pretty awesome.
They kind of did that with Red Dead Redemption. I haven't played GTA 5 online, so I don't really know. But like Red Dead, like if you start doing too much crimes, you'd get a bounty on your head, in like the overworld kind of thing. And
yeah,
that would be kind of. I think it would be really cool to do and really simple to do. And you'd have to relegate it to multiple servers so the city wouldn't be overpopulated with everybody. And I think it'd be really well done. It'd be really easily done too. I think we're probably not too far off of that because Rockstar's usually on top of their shit.
Yeah.
Usually, I still don't forgive them for GTA 4. Fuck that game.
Hey, cousin.
That game was shit. That game made me love Saints Row 2.
Do you want to go bowling?
Yes.
Saints Row 2, best sandbox game of that generation.
Fucking like Saints Row just embraced the craziness, didn't they?
It was great. But back to makers. What other makers do you guys want?
Oh, I think Mega Man Maker.
Mega Man Maker would be awesome.
I'm also for the Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket Maker.
Hot Pocket. My God.
I think a Mega Man Maker would be awesome. You'd have to again add some type of level of build your own boss.
Yeah.
There's a Lego Maker now, basically that Dimensions one.
Is that all it is?
Well, it's basically that Disney Infinity game, but with Legos.
Sounds terrible.
So, yeah.
Oh, Birch, when you get your PS4, we should totally play Jurassic Park Lego together.
Lego Jurassic Park! I have it for the 3DS, it's great.
A Lego Maker?
Those? Do those allow online co-op? 'Cause that was couch co-op only.
I don't know.
The Lego games.
I'm a damn well check.
That's something that they should include anyway.
Ooh, a Mario Kart maker.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a track.
Make a track.
It doesn't even have to be Mario Kart. It can just be a kart maker.
Kart maker, yeah.
Oh, fuck off, Mario Kart.
It's like, what about Diddy Kong Racing?
You
Diddy
know,
Kong Racing.
the funny thing is, I got to thinking about it. Like, Mario Maker isn't even new for Nintendo. They've been doing this for like Smash Bros. Build your own stage, and it's very similar to that. Like I don't know.
God, Smash Bros. Whatever the new one is for Wii U. Is it just Smash Bros. Wii U?
Yeah.
Their stage maker pisses me off.
Is it rough?
You're limited.
Hmm.
They have the thing called stage weight, and if you go over the weight limit, like you can't put more stuff in this. It's dumb.
I don't think there's that in Mario Maker because people literally just put all kinds of shit on shit. Like, you might enter a room and there might be a Bowser on top of a Bowser on top of a Mega Bowser shooting fireballs while 300 bloopers that are giant to throw chomps at you. It's problematic.
It sounds like my nightmares.
It's in Freddy Krueger's there. How about a nightmare with Freddy Krueger?
How about a Nightmare on Elm Street generator? Maker. No?
Like his place where he kills people?
I don't know. Maybe.
A dream maker?
I don't know. I need to check the thing on this, and I'm not going to do it because my keyboard's really loud. But I need to look up on last year. It was a Kickstarter game in which it was like a 5v1, except the one was a Jason Voorhees-esque character.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
And everybody else was like high school seniors. And
so kind of like Evolve, but horror tropes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, except I had more faith in that than I did Evolve because Evolve looked boring.
That's the thing. Like during the beta of Evolve, like I got my fill.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, there's not much to go back to it, but like something like you need to recapture the essence of what Left 4 Dead did.
Yeah,
I think the idea of a slasher and like each level that you picked, like each story, the slasher would be different. So it'd be like a Jason Voorhees if you were on the camp, or you'd have like a guy who had like a hook hand and a harpoon if you were on like the dock level or whatever.
I mean, it's kind of like it's still along the same lines of the whole maker concept, but imagine a cabin in the woods maker.
That'd be awesome.
Where like the participants who are the teens, right? Like the slasher doesn't spawn in until the teens find an item in the cabin and pick it up, and then whatever the slasher is determined by whatever item they pick up.
And like certain traps would spawn with whatever item they picked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Randomly put there. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I just remembered this, that the D&D group that I do that are on the show, the D&D group people, the guy posted that Wizards of the Coast is coming out with like Sword. I don't remember. It's Sword something. Let me look it up real quick. But basically, it's a game that is Dungeons and Dragons, full out on your computer. And the Dungeon Master makes the dungeon in real time. It's called Sword Coast Legends, I think it is. I don't know. But they make it in real time, and they can choose to make people harder or, like, you know, weaker and cause traps and like a dungeon maker. That'd be awesome.
Okay.
And then we're getting that, essentially. It's due out soon. I think they're in like open beta now. Like if you pre-order, you get open beta. So not really open beta. Closed beta.
I mean, so that would be even something kind of like that. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, sorry, the alcohol.
It's the booze. It gets
the
you
booze.
right into the
No,
podcast.
so there was.
LB usually shuts up and stares at the screen. Birch just starts, you know, probably looking at porn, and I'm just carrying this right here with booze.
So I think it was Dungeon Keeper 1 and 2, where you make your own dungeon, but in a whole Mario Maker sense, like if you could create a dungeon, kind of Prince of Persia style, where you'd have traps laid out and everything like that, and people would have to kind of feel out like where the traps were, kind of Indiana Jones' The Last Crusade, where he's got the pebbles and the invisible bridge.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know, like to
Indiana
create a
Jones
dungeon.
Maker.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go.
That'd be cool. And like just make it Adventure Maker or whatever, so you could have like the Laura Croft skin or the Indiana Jones skin without really calling it that, or the Brendan Fraser from The Mummy skin.
Oh.
The Mummy was a great movie. I stand by it to this day. Mummy was the great film.
I just don't like Brendan Fraser, that's all.
Hey, he was George of the Jungle, okay?
He was George of the Jungle, okay? You gotta give him a solid pass.
And he was in Monkey Bone, guys. You remember Monkey Bone?
I didn't see.
He was also the Encino Man, wasn't no?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
He
Okay.
was.
Wheezing the juice, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Fucking Pauly Shore. Don't watch Biodome, by the way.
Don't
Biodome
watch
does not
it.
hold up.
You
Does
have to
not
watch
hold
it.
up.
Fuck
Does
you,
not
watch it.
hold up.
It never had anything to hold on to in the first place.
Okay.
Stephen Baldwin being a stoner, anyway.
Steven, which one's the ball? Is he the fat one?
No.
He's the Baldwin that's in Unusual Suspects. Usual Suspects.
Oh, you mean the give me your fucking keys, cocksucker. That one?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, moving on.
Moving on up.
Okay.
Moving on up to
To
the
the
east
side.
side. Copyright
Lights
infringement. Copyright infringement in
The
the
Austin
sky.
Sky.
Oops.
No, I'm not in the sky. I'm like second
All right,
up.
this one came to me again. We'll come back to this later in podcast as it comes to see fit.
I'm pulling up the stuff now.
I gave you guys a link to just some to
Yes.
kind of like generate the juices, but like fan theories.
Ew.
What are your favorites? What are your least favorites for movies? I mean, we could talk about books like not Lord of the Rings.
Why not?
I don't have any fan theories for Lord of the
Jesus.
Rings. I apologize. I should have muted my microphone for that. But like Game of Thrones, the who's Jon Snow's mom. That's a pretty good fan theory.
Huh?
What is it? R plus L equals J. That's a good fan theory. Or like check out Film Theory on YouTube. Those guys are great. Or Game Theory on YouTube. Those guys are great. He has a great one of the Mario timeline. Have you guys watched that one yet?
I think
No,
I've watched
I
some
don't
of
think
them
I've
where...
I watched the Zelda one.
The
I think I've watched some of them where he's talking about Princess Peach being dead.
Princess Peach is dead in Super Mario Galaxy because she's
Yeah.
Rosita's mom.
Yeah.
But like after that one, he comes up with a full theory of like what the timeline is. Like, their dad is the Mario from Donkey Kong,
Okay.
and their mom is what was her name? Rosie,
Okay.
Pauline?
Pauline. Yeah, those
Pauline.
two. They're that. And then they have Mario and Luigi. And
Or
then
Mario, and Luigi Mario.
Mario, Luigi.
Tomorrow.
Luigi Mario. No, man, is your name Luigi? No, Luigi Mario. And then it goes pretty straightforward, and then like the last games in the series is the Super Mario Land games, because in the timeline Luigi marries Peach, not Mario marrying Peach.
Okay.
So Mario leaves and goes off to be with Daisy.
Okay.
Mind blown! It's great.
But then Daisy shows up at their apartment and says, like, we got
We gotta
trouble
do
in the
some
Koopa
shit.
Kingdom.
We're done here. So, okay, I'm gonna go through some of my favorite movie fan theories, okay? And then we got some least favorite ones.
Okay.
Some of them are pretty easy, like the Ghostbusters being dead at the end of Ghostbusters 1.
Wait, what?
That after crossing the... spoilers, by the way, for all of these movies.
All you people.
For a movie that's
This
over
movie
20
is
years
20
old.
years old. Yeah.
Well, I also know that when I bring up The Thing, Birch hasn't watched The Thing.
Oh.
So, Ghostbusters cross the streams, right? They don't end up saving the day. They end up killing themselves and, closing the portal. And therefore, the second movie is them in purgatory. That's why nobody remembers them saving the day, and everything is shit for them.
Or it could just be that they need to work. I mean,
No,
birthday
they're
parties.
dead.
This Batman theory is great.
The
Which Batman theory?
Joker didn't kill
the
Bruce's
Joker,
parents.
the Joker didn't kill Bruce's parents. Bruce simply projects that onto every criminal he faces.
Yep, that's a great one.
So, okay, so there's a fan theory that kind of ties into that I read earlier on today, actually, surprisingly enough. But that stated that there was this whole paradox with, like, Crisis on Infinite Earths,
Yeah.
And at the end of that,
Is this the one that Batman
Batman
killed himself?
yeah, Batman will not kill himself, but kill his parents. So
Yeah.
Batman, Bruce Wayne gets sent back. His uniform as Batman is all tattered to shit, so he grabs some clothes off the line and, sets his wallet on the windowsill to pay for the clothes because he's Batman. He's a good guy, But then he goes and he looks down this alleyway and he sees this woman and her husband and their kid. And he realizes that where the whole infinite universe is to spit him out is right at the night that his parents got killed. And he reaches into the clothes that he took off the clothesline. He finds a pistol in the jacket pocket. And he knows that he's the one that has to kill his parents. So if he didn't kill his own parents, then the Infinite Crisis universe wouldn't be solved. But if he left his parents alive, then Batman wouldn't be there to solve the Infinite Crisis. So he has to kill his own parents.
It's a good twist. I like it.
Yeah.
This is a fan theory?
It's not been officially confirmed by DC or anything like that.
Yeah. So, other ones I have are in the movie The Rock. That Sean Connery's character is basically James Bond, caught by America and thrown in prison.
Okay.
It's a pretty popular one. Another pretty popular one is James Bond isn't the character's name, but a code name.
Okay.
That's why Bond keeps changing faces throughout the years.
Which, you know what? I want Idris Elba to be the next Bond.
I want Idris Elba to be the next James Bond, too.
Seriously.
But the Skyfall actually kind of put that one to rest. That fan theory, by having shown his parents' graves at the end with the name Bond. LB has the hiccups.
That was a burp. Thank you.
Okay. Other ones, this one I don't remember completely off the top of my head, but it's really good, is O as in the letter, B as in the letter, and the number 1. Have you guys heard this one?
No.
Obi-Wan?
No.
Okay.
This was before the prequels came out. That someone theorized that Obi-Wan is not his name, but his clone identification ID tag.
Nice.
And that Obi-Wan was a clone of a Jedi.
And that's why he says, like, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't remember much more about it, but I liked well, let's face it, it's better than the prequels.
Freaking no, because, like, before the prequels came out, right? Like, I'm all in support of this theory, but before the prequels came out, there was all this conjecture of the Clone Wars, right? The titular Clone Wars, that the Jedi were cloned. And that was the whole big problem, is that there were Jedi that were cloned, that were good and evil and all that shit, and they had to eliminate them, and the Mandalorians were hired out to kill them off, and all this shit. And then Lucas comes in and is like, oh no, the Clone Wars is just about clone troopers. Like, no, like, shit.
It was like, picture, if you will, millions of clone Jedis battling across planets and spaceships in a badass whirlwind of laser force space death. A Star War, if you will. Makes sense. According to the theory that Obi-Wan is actually a serial number for Obi-Wan, first in the line of Star Wars warring space wizards. In the first movie, Obi-Wan uses the alias Ben Kenobi, supposedly because he's hiding from the Empire. Yeah, it's just, that's all there is to it as the meat and potatoes. I really like that. I really do that. Because, again, it adds to the mystery of why the Jedi have been gone for so long, because all these clones kind of took place. Yeah. So, that's one that I really enjoy.
Do you guys enjoy Back to the Future?
Yes.
Who doesn't?
So, people that don't have a soul. That's
I don't anymore after watching them back to back to back.
To the future.
In the future.
All right, so there's two fan theories I want to talk about Back to the Future. The first is that Doc is suicidal.
I like this
in
one.
the first Back to the Future. So the first Back to the Future, he's got Marty there, and he tests out the DeLorean, the time machine with Ein, and he sends him 1 minute into the future, and he checks the clocks, and everything's all good, kosher, and everything like that. But the theory states that everything up to that point for Doc has been a failure. Mm-hmm. So he instructs Marty to stand with him in front of the DeLorean, and he revs it up to 88 miles an hour. And the theory states basically that he thinks to himself, either this works and I'm a success, or I'm going to kill myself and this kid that's been mentoring under me, because I will have failed at everything in my life. So, like, he's just waiting for the DeLorean to either hit them and kill them, or to phase out of existence and go into the future.
Because what is the first thing he say after it goes into the future? It worked! It worked!
Right. But, I mean, I don't know. I really jive with that one. I've always had a problem with that one, because it didn't really seem to go with the whole film, you know? Like, there seemed to have been other successes with Doc Brown that he could have relied on, you know? He wasn't a complete failure.
He was a failure.
He was a failure.
The other fan theory is the many deaths of Marty McFly theory. Have you guys heard this one?
I have not heard this one.
I'm kind of getting the idea.
Back to the Future 2. You remember the scene where it's after the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, where Biff Tannen in the past has the Future Sports Almanac, and Marty's trying to get it back, but it's actually second Marty that's in the past. It's not, Johnny Be Good. It's not Johnny Be Good Marty, but it's the real Marty from the current timeline.
Let's call him Marty 1 and Marty 2, because
Yeah.
those are the movies. So Marty 2 is trying to get the almanac.
Right. Marty 2 is in the leather jacket, red T-shirt, bowler hat, whatever
Yep.
it is.
Yep.
And he's in the car, like, trying to get the magazine back, and he's got the hoverboard and all that shit. So the theory is, like, okay, how could Doc have known at the exact moment, exact time, exact place to drop down the flags that Marty grabs onto and is carried up off of in order to not be squished by Biff's car? And the theory states that due to the magic of time travel, Doc has been able to go back and pinpoint the exact moment that Biff squashed Marty with his car. And he had to do this hundreds of times, predictably, to find the exact moment to drop down the flags so that Marty could grab on and be safe. So it states that basically Marty has died by Biff's car hundreds upon hundreds of times.
There's all these
because Marty
alternate
was too
timelines
early.
for-
Yeah, exactly. Marty was too early, or sorry, not Marty. Doc was too early or too late to drop the flags down.
That's brilliant. I love it. I love
Because
that
there's no,
shit.
it's a tunnel. There's no possible way that Doc could have seen where they were positioned because it's a tunnel.
That's great. That's
You know
really great.
That and the
think about it-
suicide scene, right? Where
Yeah.
he steps off the roof.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, suicide will be nice and neat, you know? So how many times must Doc have put the DeLorean up there for Marty to actually land on the roof of the DeLorean? Otherwise, Marty just falls off the roof of the casino and dies.
Every
Like,
time.
You know, based on the movie's own explanation of time travel physics, there exists a universe where Doc Brown has been shot to death by the Libyans,
yeah.
and Marty McFly has disappeared,
Yep.
never to be seen again.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, and that's it. That universe is out there.
It's out
Other
there somewhere.
And those Libyans are in a mental institution. They're like, we saw a DeLorean, and it went nowhere. It's just gone.
it disappeared. So other ones that I read were Agent Smith is actually the one, not Neo.
Yep.
Film
That's
Theory.
bullshit, by the way.
Film Theory did a review on. I did one.
I haven't watched the video yet, but I proclaim that that's bullshit.
It's pretty good because it states that the criteria for being the one is that you are to be born in the Matrix. You must bring about the end of the Matrix or something like that. What was it? Be able to change the Matrix and
Shape it as you see fit.
shape it as you see fit. And Neo doesn't fit all of those criterias. He was not born inside the Matrix.
Yeah, he was.
He was born outside the Matrix and plugged in. When a true program was born inside. And at the end of the movie trilogy, because we call it a trilogy, unfortunately, it's not, the Matrix isn't shut down until Agent Smith corrupts Neo, and therefore is jacked into the core of the Matrix and is forced to shut it down. It's watch the movie. I'm not doing it justice, but it was a good. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I fell asleep in the third movie, and I have never watched it again, so
I don't remember.
I have no
the third
idea
one.
how that movie ends.
I don't remember that one.
My favorite fan theory about Matrix is that 2 and 3 were supposed to be the second movie, but it was too big to split, to have one 4-hour long movie, so I had to split it apart. So what's the real third movie?
Animatrix.
No, that's like a
Enter
prequel
the
and stuff.
Matrix.
No,
I don't know.
but you know what I'm saying though. Like
Yeah.
that was supposed to be the second movie. So if there really was a third movie that was separate from that,
What other one? Oh, we have our Jurassic World one that's better than the fan theory that's out there. That Owen Grady is actually Tim from Jurassic Park, not the MC Chris wannabe kid.
No, I like that theory, Bear. That's my
that
theory.
That one
Wait,
doesn't
what?
make any sense. Okay, the fan theory that's out there is that the kid at the beginning of Jurassic Park that Alan Grant scares becomes Owen Grady from Jurassic World. I don't
okay,
know.
with the Velociraptor thing where he's
Yeah.
like, "I'll rip your
That's my
guts out."
theory.
The short, chubby MC Chris looking character.
Okay, all right.
My theory is that it's actually Tim. One, because Tim looks a little bit like Chris. Which one is that one? Not Evans.
Chris
Not
Pratt.
O'Donnell.
Chris Pratt.
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. He looks. The kid,
He was Robin in Batman. I'm sorry.
Tim looks like Chris Pratt. Okay. On top of that, you had the idea that after the end of Jurassic Park 2, that their family probably lost all kinds of money, lost all credibility. So he has to work up, and when he hears that somebody else is trying to open up a park, he wants to be there to make sure everything's okay, and he wants to be in charge of the raptors because he knows how dangerous they are firsthand. So my theory is that Tim is Chris Pratt. It's a better fan theory than what's out there.
I'm gonna go with he's Raptor Kid.
Fuck you. You're bad.
I actually believe I believe this for a while. This Toy Story one.
Oh, that
That
they're divorced?
Andy's parents are going through a divorce, which
That's
is
a
why his dad's never around, and they're moving to a smaller house.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of plain and simple though. That's like straight facts. Like she's
Yeah.
either a single parent or there's a divorce going on.
Yeah.
There's some of these on this list that aren't actually theories. They're more of like, well, yeah, that's the theme of the whole fucking movie. Which
Yeah.
we'll get into like later on. We'll get into
God
it.
damn
now,
it.
Is that Labyrinth? They say that the theory is that it's basically what's her name, Jen? No, Sarah. Sarah dealing with puberty, and I'm like, no, that's the actual theme of the fucking film, you idiots.
Which one?
Labyrinth.
Okay.
My favorite fan theory was it was up on Tumblr, and I can't find it now, but it's the Sarahs of the Labyrinth, and it's when Jareth was younger, before he had the Labyrinth, he fell in love with a princess named Sarah, and her dad and her stepmother wouldn't let them be together because she had to watch the young prince the whole time. So Jareth goes away and builds a labyrinth that he can put her in, so her dad and her family and the royal family will never find her. But it takes too long and she dies. So now, being a common name for most people, he's go out and search for Sarahs who feel that they're not being properly, appreciated, and he's taking their younger siblings away. And if they don't reach the center of the labyrinth in time, the little kids become goblins. Which, the number one thing that supports this is at the beginning of the movie when Sarah first enters the labyrinth, she meets Hoggle. And Hoggle, he goes, my name's Hoggle. And she goes, I'm Sarah. And he goes, of course you are. As if there have been hundreds of Sarahs, thousands of Sarahs, and they didn't reach the baby in time. I really like that theory. I love that movie, and it just adds a nice little extra piece of spice to it.
You're Sarah number 500 of 2058.
Please
They must never come together. They must never come together.
Here's a theory you might have never heard of.
Together. What?
The Harry Potter. The theory is that Dumbledore is actually a time-traveling Ron Weasley.
I love that theory.
I love that theory. So
Explain. Do explain.
So
Yeah, I
the
need to
idea
hear
is
this.
that at some point in his future, Ron Weasley gets sent back in time, and then lives life out as Albus Dumbledore. And it explains why, throughout the Harry Potter series, he seems to know what's going to happen. He knows what the main characters, the trio, are up to, and just kind of winks and lets them get away with whatever they're doing.
And it also brings to light that he loved an older, like in his past, he loved a student that he was with. The idea that Ron had, feelings for Harry. Because
Wait.
Dumbledore's gay.
Right. Okay. I didn't think about that, but
I'm saying.
and
No
but
big deal.
then there's the idea that
Hermione was a cover.
One hell of a great cover.
beard. Where was I going?
There's other theories that are great from Harry Potter Land.
Yeah.
There's the Harry dies in the closet underneath the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
That the Harry Potter adventures are just his last memories before he dies, or his thoughts.
It's like his synapses firing to make a better life for himself.
Yep. There's the why his aunt and uncle were so cruel to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's because the
Because of
Horcrux.
Horcrux.
Horcrux. Yep. There's the one that I liked better, the most that I'm really upset wasn't the fact was that Harry Potter isn't the one.
Yep.
That Neville is.
That Neville is, and that Dumbledore played a very mean trick on Harry to save Neville, and like the fan theory basically said, actually making up for Harry being a total dickbag for the whole fucking series.
Mm-hmm.
I like that theory the most.
Well,
Well, it's
Harry
funny 'cause,
Potter is a
like-
golden god.
He was a golden god.
But it's also the idea of why Snape is so mean to Neville, because Neville could have been the one, but wasn't.
Yeah.
And if Neville had been the one, then Lily wouldn't have died.
Okay, now real quick here, I want to piss off all the Harry Potter fans. Anybody who says Snape is a deep and complicated character, no, he was
He's a
stuck in
dick.
he was in a friend zone. All right, there was never a mutual affection between Lily and him. It was all in his head, and therefore he's a fucking creeper. and he deserved to die. Many horrible deaths.
I don't think he deserved to die.
John McClane should have thrown him off a fucking roof.
And he did.
And then
No, he
Harry
didn't.
Potter's all like, what? No spell, Snape? Think I'm fucking stupid?
Well, like anyone who
Okay,
reads the
Mr.
books,
Potions.
like Snape does some really shitty things, and you can't just be like, "Oh, but it's okay. He loved this bitch one time, so
No.
he's cool."
No, he's a dick.
No, he's an asshole. He's always been an asshole.
Okay, have you guys heard the Captain Jack Sparrow one that came out like a few weeks ago?
Before
Does it
we
have
get
something
into
to
that,
do with him not actually existing? Because I'm reading a lot.
No.
hold on. Before we get into that, my favorite fan theory is Wizard People,
Dear readers.
Dear readers. So if you have not seen that or heard that, please do yourself the favor and go and get that. It's freaking not impossible, freaking amazing is what I was going to say. But it's a retelling of Harry Potter as from the story point of an unreliable narrator, and it's amazing. Watch it when you've had a few drinks. It's really good, or whatever you
What's
happen
the
to
fan
like to
theory?
vibe yourself with.
The fan theory is that's the actual story, and therefore much better.
All right.
Okay.
Ronnie the
Anyway,
Bird.
Ronnie the
The
Bird.
Ronnie the Bear.
Very fucking bad.
Okay, so,
All right, so
this Captain Jack Sparrow one is that it just came to light that somebody actually watched the deleted scenes at World's End. You know, the third film that someone said, "Gee, how could we make it worse than the second film?"
okay.
And then they did, in which he's
Wait,
talking.
that was the third film. What was the fourth film?
The fourth film was
The fourth one, no one remembers even happened, including me.
I apparently
Yeah.
owned it, and I don't remember buying it.
On
Anyway,
Stranger
third
Tides,
film at
yeah.
World's End.
Okay, at World's End, you know the big bad guy, that one like East India Trading Company guy, who's
I don't
totally
remember that movie at all.
he's totally a pen pusher. There's a deleted scene where he talks to Jack, and he goes, "I haven't seen that ship since I've blown it to pieces," and he's talking about the Black Pearl, and he calls it a different name,
Yeah,
and it's
I think this is one I've heard.
yeah. And Jack says, he goes, "You should have just," he said, "You should have just delivered the cargo," and Jack says, "People aren't cargo, mate," or something like that. And the fan theory is that Jack was hired to sell slaves under
Like,
the East.
India Trading Company.
That's-
Yep.
That's
And-
actually confirmed what it was.
And he
Yeah.
didn't. They blew up his ship. And the reason why the 100 souls is what Davy Jones bargained for was because it was 100 slaves.
Because he went to Davy Jones and said, "I want my ship back,"
He
and
wants
he
the
said
ship
for 100 souls.
Because that was the cargo. 100 people was on the original boat. And then, like, the theory gets a little bit more wonky by saying that the one, cop guy, I don't remember his name, the one who loved Elizabeth.
Norrington?
Yeah, Norrington.
Norrington.
When he says, "You're the worst pirate I've ever heard of," because he knows that he did the right thing even though he's the pirate.
Because pirates are all about bounty and gold and shit. They're not about freedom of slaves.
I liked it for a fucking terrible fucking series.
It's awesome.
The first one was great.
There's a
rest were
book.
shit.
There's a book called The Price of Freedom, which tells that exact story.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't they go into that expanded universe that then once they sell the company off to Disney, then it becomes not expanded universe, and then everything after
Yeah.
that point? Making a
Yeah.
Star Wars joke, anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
It's a prequel to the movies, and it tells that exact story,
Okay.
except the Norrington stuff, but it's all there.
I didn't know that. Okay. My other two, real quick, was at the ending of The Thing.
Okay.
Which it states that, it's on this list too, I think it's like number 48, is that at the end of the movie, Kurt Russell gives Keith David a bottle saying they're just going to drink themselves to death as they freeze because they don't know who's the Thing. The theory is that Kurt Russell actually gives Keith David a Molotov cocktail because the Thing wouldn't know if it was actual alcohol or gasoline. Oh, I'm sorry, guzzling.
Witness me.
It's a decent theory, but I don't think it needs to exist because the Thing is all about not knowing who's the Thing, and it's a pretty down ending, and that movie is fucking fantastic. Fun note, did you know that John Carpenter got yelled at because it bombed because it went up against the weekend of E.T.?
Whoops.
Jesus.
My last theory...
That's like two different, like, scopes of alien film to have coming out at the same weekend.
Gee, what do you want to take the family to
loving
go see?
alien that has a glowing finger that can cure cancer, and then, like, this thing that takes over people and makes dogs look like mutants. Yeah.
That movie's fantastic. Everybody
It
needs to watch
is.
it. The last one is Lord of the Rings Fly, you fools. Have you heard this one?
Oh, I heard this.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
the Eagles.
Yeah, where Gandalf's original plan was always to use the eagles, but because of the delay of the Fellowship and traveling through the pass, that they had to go through Moria, and he knew the Balrog was there, and therefore couldn't get past it. So his last things were "Fly, you fools," aka "Go to the Eagles," and nobody understood it. So
Gotcha.
those are my favorites. I have my negatives, but if you guys want to hit anything else before we go to negatives, go ahead.
So going through the website on Games Radar here, the list that we're referencing through here, I was just kind of poking through them as we were talking, and there's this RoboCop theory at number 33.
Oh yeah, that he's
Says
Jesus?
RoboCop is Jesus, yes.
Right.
Albeit an extremely violent one with a very firm idea of right and wrong. It says why it's mind-blowing. Paul Verhoeven, who is the director, has actually come out and confirmed this one. It's about a guy who gets crucified in the first 50 minutes, he says, and then is resurrected in the next 50 minutes, and then is like super cop of the world. And that's just fucking mind-blowing, because I never thought of RoboCop in that way. That was a Jesus allegory. I never thought about it that way.
I'm a little bummed, Bert, you didn't bring these two up. The Aladdin theories.
Well, I read the first one and I thought it was dumb. So
The first one is that
The good kids take off their clothes thing?
No.
The first one's not too bad.
No, the first one is that the merchant at the beginning is just telling you the story to buy the fucking lamp.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that doesn't make very exciting. So I was like, right.
The second one is that Aladdin actually takes place in the distant future,
That one's stupid.
where everything is destroyed,
Post-apocalyptic.
which is why the genie knows all these pulp culture references.
I like that one.
That's stupid.
Fine. Oh, this is one I haven't heard before. That Jack never existed in Titanic.
Yeah, I never heard that one
Oh,
before.
I
yeah,
like it.
that's like her way of
about
dealing
it.
with angst.
Yep.
Talk about it.
It's basically that Jack never existed. That was all about her psyche being broken and like not wanting to marry this guy and due to cruel treatment from her fiance and all that stuff. So she
that's why-
came up with Jack to escape.
Does it
Although,
explain
why
like
she doesn't want to marry the Rocketeer, I don't know.
Because
Billy
he
Zane's
would
not the
need gum.
Rocketeer.
Billy Zane. Oh, I mixed up Billy Zane and Billy Campbell.
Yeah, Billy
Now
Zane.
I'm an ass.
Billy Zane
then-
was the Phantom. All right.
The
I mixed up-
Phantom.
I mixed up
That's
Billy
it.
Idol, and I thought it was a
Wrong
good thing for a
cereal.
white wedding.
And,
So
and Alec Baldwin played the Shadow. Okay.
All right.
And the Shadow knows what shadows lurk in the man's heart. Okay.
goddamn.
There we go. I don't know. Is there any other ones you want to cover that were positive, guys? Because there's so many that are bad.
so
There
many
were a
bad
lot of
ones.
bad ones. I just wanted to ignore them.
Okay, so the whole Ghostbusters Purgatory thing, right?
Yeah.
It's dumb.
So, yeah. So, but it says crossing the streams causes them to die.
Yep.
City celebration or achievements turning out to be a posthumous affair. So, does that just say that, like, by crossing the streams, they cause the entire existence of universe to blink out of existence? Like,
It's dumb. It's
It's
a theory
either-
that's dumb.
It's either they blinked out of existence, which is why they're going through such hell in 2, or that they just died. And they stopped
Okay.
everything. I did like the No Country for Old Men that Anti-Sugar is the angel of death. I like that. It doesn't add anything to the movie, and therefore
No,
it
it
can easily
doesn't.
ignored. Oh no, that's one of them that I hate. Never mind.
Which one?
Are we ready to go into dumb ones?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is a good one I like. The Kill Bill Volume 2. She didn't actually kill. She didn't actually kill Bill.
okay.
That no one actually knew the 5-finger pointing heart technique, exploding heart technique.
Yeah.
That she just let him go because she was over it. Which is
That's
why
kinda
at the end, there's no mark through Bill when everyone else has a mark, and Daryl Hannah has a question mark next to her name.
People who died.
Yep.
Okay.
I like it. So into the dumb ones. We ready for this? We're not going to go to the one that I like. We're going to save that one for last. That I hate the most. Number one that I hate the most. Frozen is Tarzan.
What?
You know what I hate especially?
Frozen?
So the director said, yeah, that. But the director said that he actually believes that one is like in his mind. That's like actually a thing,
It's
which
dumb.
makes me hate.
Okay, no,
hate
explain.
So
Explain.
at the beginning of Frozen, Elsa and Anna's parents go off on the trip. Their boat crashes. They land on a desert a jungle island. They have sex. They make a baby. Then they get eaten by a panther.
And the baby becomes Tarzan.
Okay.
It's just
Never mind the fact that they're clearly in two completely different time zones and completely different like time periods.
And
But
different like
who cares?
ends of the world. Why
who
would you go
fucking
to a
cares?
wedding in like fucking India?
I'm confused.
My
It's-
question is, are they really in two different time periods?
Well, I don't know. Looks like it. to me.
well,
It could be.
It's safe to assume that in Frozen they had muskets, and in Tarzan they had easily rifles and shotguns and more advanced weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say yes, they're in different time periods. And also, I think in Tarzan there were steamboats, so you're thinking at the 30s.
Yeah.
Were there steamboats in Tarzan? I don't remember that.
I want to say there were steamboats,
I think there were.
since that was supposed to take place in the 1920s, 1930s adventure era.
Mm,
So,
fair enough.
I don't like that one. Another one is the Inception ring.
What?
In one of the big theories is that in Inception, Leonardo DiCaprio's totem isn't the top; it's his wedding ring.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I hate it because it's unnecessary.
Well, the top wasn't his totem, though, right?
No,
That was...
It was his wife's.
It's his wife's,
Right.
but he could pick it up. My point is, there's a point where Occam's razor comes into play, and when the movie says, "Here's this drug guy who makes really potent drugs to make sure you fall asleep," and your main character tries it and wakes up in half a second, and then never uses his totem ever again, the totem that we've known that is that, and then we learn that that totem is his wife's from there on out, is a fucking dream. These people going, his wedding ring's in this scene, his wedding ring's not in this scene, his wedding ring's in this scene. It's just too complicated. Occam's razor takes over that says, no, it's a fucking dream, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. It's too complicated.
Okay.
But, I mean, whatever.
So,
go.
I think I have one that may not be actually on this list, which is, I don't think, a bad fan theory. I haven't gone through the entire list, so I can't say for sure if it's on there or not. But Fight Club, right?
The
So
Calvin
everybody
Hobbes?
knows. No, not Calvin Hobbes. Different one entirely. There's a whole essay on this. So obviously, everybody knows that Jack is part of the psyche of the narrator and all that stuff.
Spoilers.
But that, sorry,
Whoa.
sorry, and then of
Whoa.
course, spoiler alert, that Tyler Durden is part of the narrator as well. That they're two halves of the same coin. That they're one person. The theory that I read, and there's like I said, a whole essay on this that points out everything in painstaking detail. That not only is the narrator and Tyler the same person, but also, oh God, what is her name?
Helen Barbara Carter.
Yeah, but fucking her name.
Nope, Helen Barbara Carter. That's all she plays. Same role. Different movie. I'm crazy.
Marla Singer. That Marla Singer is also a part of his personality. That she is the feminine part of his personality.
That's dumb.
And that, that's just one fragment of his personality he's trying to rectify. And that Bob with bitch tits is also part of his personality. That those three, Tyler, Bob, and Marla, are all part of the narrator's personality. And we're seeing a chair on LB's feed.
LB had to go pee, probably.
Okay.
You know how he holds his bladder like an old lady.
In any case, so the theory posits that it's all one person trying to rectify their personality, and that at the very end he accepts his feminine nature, and that's why he's holding hands with Marla at the very end.
That's dumb.
It makes sense if you read the article.
It makes sense, but also it removes certain aspects of the movie that make the movie charming.
Yeah, true.
My also point is that I don't really like Fight Club because it's just so well written that anybody in it anybody could do it. William Shatner could play the part of it, and it'd be great. But I don't know. It would lead into one of my other theories, but I'm gonna wait for LB because he probably has something to say. But I just removing certain aspects for a fan theory to work, or like core parts of a movie, I don't like. I really hate that. Birch, you got one that you hate?
Trying to think of. There was a couple I read recently. There's some game theories I can't stand.
Like what?
But, well, some of the Pokemon ones are dumb. But
Yeah,
Like the whole nuclear war thing.
I like the world.
yeah, well,
Well, I mean, if you don't like it, give it to me. I just kind of think, that's kind of fun.
yeah, it's a real thing between like fun. I could do a lot of fun, but then like someone there when it's like I have to like really stretch my mind. Like I'm like, okay, that's not really. You have to squeeze that to fit these parameters.
I do like the Ditto theory.
I love the Ditto theory.
Ditto theory is
What?
great. That
What?
Ditto is a failed
Mew?
clone of Mew
Yeah.
because they weigh the same, they have the same shiny, they have the same weight, And LB's back.
Hey!
There's an arm.
Almost. Almost.
Oh.
There's a crotch.
Oh, there's a chest. He's biting his lip.
Chin.
He's pulling.
Oh.
He's pulling that Kristen Stewart.
So sexy.
Mm.
Are you strapped back in, LB?
Yeah.
Are we still recording?
You're still recording. Did you have to poop?
No.
He had to poop, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, LB had to poop.
My
So
bladder was full.
yeah, mine's too. But you know what? I'm mother trucking through this thing.
Lightweights.
So going off of the fan theory that just removes stuff and like removes aspects of the film, let's talk about my absolute most hated one. This isn't the one that I was talking about, but this just leads perfectly into it. Is the Blade Runner theory.
I was thinking about that while I was peeing.
I fucking hate the Blade Runner theory. That
You told me
Deckard
that's
is a replicant.
Gaff?
No, that the Gaft one adds a nice twist to the idea, but that
Yeah, okay.
Deckard being a replicant removes so much of the movie that I hate. I hate it. It's someone trying to be clever. On top of that, the director's cut, which came out after the theatrical cut that was on home video and DVD, added scenes from Legend. Legend, you know, the Tom Cruise, Tim Curry as the devil part about a fucking unicorn drinking blood to gain immortality. They added a scene of a unicorn into Blade Runner to make this theory work. And it's dumb. The idea that Deckard is genetically engineered to kill other replicants is dumb. It removes the human aspect of the film.
Here's two problems I have with that, right? So first off, and this is kind of like a not citing examples from inside the film as like backing this up as why it's a bad theory, but fucking Ridley Scott is the one that said, "Oh yeah, totally, Deckard's a reploid or replicant," you know, like that's totally what I was intending. Okay, it was Philip K. Dick that wrote the novel.
Yep, it's over there on my
And
shelf.
I would think that he would have the final say on it. Granted, Philip K. Dick is long since dead. But I don't think Ridley Scott gets the final say on that. I really don't think he fucking does.
No, I read the
Secondly,
book multiple
yeah.
times.
And
There's a great just because you brought it up, I'm gonna let you get to your
Okay.
second one.
All
Is
right.
that there's this whole point where you don't know if he is a replicant or not because he comes across another police business that doesn't know each other, so they both check each other. It's a great little twist,
yeah.
but they cut all of that out of the movie because it's utterly pointless. So you're number 2, go.
Okay, number 2. So, speaking back to Philip K. Dick, the estate of Philip K. Dick actually allowed sequel books to be written by, God, what is his name?
I don't know. He's the guy-
K.W. Jeter. K.W. Jeter. He wrote a bunch of Star Wars Expanded Universe
Didn't
novels
he
as well.
also write Soldier, which is the sister film to Blade Runner?
I'm not sure.
But Soldier,
Not sure about that.
starring Kurt Russell, the sister film to Blade Runner.
I'll have to see that then. I've not seen it yet. Because Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell has about 8 lines in the film. It's
Fair
great.
enough. That's okay.
And one of them is, "I'm going to kill them all, sir."
Fair enough.
It's great.
So, K.W. Jeter was actually allowed by the estate of Phil K. Dick to write these sequel novels. And I read the first one. The second one, Blade Runner 3, didn't really... It was too dense. It didn't work so well. But Blade Runner 2, I think it was called Replicant Nights, picked up where the first one left off and actually incorporated elements from the film in it where the detective... the chief of police,
Okay.
where he had actually misnumbered the amount of replicants.
Okay.
He said that there were 6 at one point, and then he said there was 5.
Okay.
So the novel that K.W. Jeter wrote took upon that fact and was like, okay, well, he said there were 6, then he said there was 5. Where is the other missing replicant? And so there's all this whole plot line of another Blade Runner besides Deckard coming after Deckard, believing that he was a replicant, and the whole thing of Deckard having to prove whether or not he was a real human or a replicant. And that was actually more interesting, I think, than saying just Ridley Scott, like, oh yeah, he's a replicant. Oh.
It's like the whole movie is about him, the best Blade Runner, which we don't know what a Blade Runner is. Is awesome. He's
Bounty hunter.
He's essentially a bounty hunter who hunts genetically grown people because they're not androids in this. They're not.
No.
They never say they are. But
They're replicants. They're Nexus 6.
Yeah, they're Nexus 6. And he can't pull the trigger anymore because he can't stop seeing them as people.
He can't retire them.
He can't do it, you know, and it's great because they say he needs to come back and he needs to do it. Which
I need that old magic.
I need the old Blade Runner back. It's just it adds a depth of noir that is desperately needed in the movie. And by making him a replicant, that basically says, you are designed to do this, you must do it, we're just going through the paces, removes a lot of the heart and soul of what a noir is.
it kind of also takes away from the whole end scene,
Yeah.
where it's him as a human versus Roy Batty
Roy, yeah.
as a replicant with God, what is his name? The actor. Can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but he, the whole thing with Rutger Hauer.
Yep, Rutger Hauer.
Rutger Hauer was saying, like, everything you humans have never seen, like fires off the moon of Jupiter and all this stuff, and he's like, all that is gone like tears in the rain. And that whole speech was like, was it improvised?
Most of it was improvised, and Ridley Scott hated the line like tears in the rain. And wanted
it's an amazing
to cut
line!
It. He wanted to cut it. So just remember, the guy who says he's a replicant wanted to cut one of the best lines in the whole film.
I know. But so you have the standoff, though, where, like, Roy Batty has fucking kicked Rick Deckard's ass. I had that game, it never fucking worked. I had that game, it never fucking worked.
You need to make a virtual desktop to install it now, because
God
it doesn't exist. But I just remembered I have this. I'm going to install it and play the shit out of it.
It's the Westwood Games game of it, yeah. You play a different Blade Runner. But yeah, no, it's this whole standoff between man versus machine, and then, like, Roy Batty kicks his ass, and then Roy Batty knows that his battery is going to run out, and he's just like, oh shit, okay, well, fuck.
This game right here?
Oni, by Bungie.
By Bungie. Shit, yeah, that's my old game collection right
Fan theories. Oni is just a prequel to Halo.
True story. So I hate that one. I really do. Some other ones that I hate real quick. Most of the Tarantino ones are just really hard to get your head around of, like, what's a movie and what's not a movie.
It's pointless.
I
saw one I was okay with. It was basically like, this is an alternate timeline where, like, and all the movies past, or maybe it's like all his movies period, go with the World War II where Hitler was killed in a theater.
And
that's fine, but
that's
not
fine.
necessary.
Like,
tying everything into one
change
universe is
anything.
pretty good, though. Like,
but like
Tarantino verse. But
when you start getting into Kill Bill is really a TV show inside of the thing, which is what Mila Wallace was starring in, and I'm just like, no. But the one fan theory I do like from all of that is that Samuel L. Jackson's character from Kill Bill is his character from Pulp Fiction.
wait, he was in Kill Bill?
Yeah, he plays the organ player at the wedding.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The other one I don't like, before we get to the one that I absolutely hate because it's rather new, is Indy in the Fridge. That Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is all him dying in the fridge.
Stupid.
It's dumb because,
Explains the monkeys.
you know what? Everyone outraged over him getting in a fridge and surviving a nuclear explosion. I will defend that scene because it's not the worst part of the whole movie. The CGI gopher is worse. The monkey scene is worse. The giant ants, the falling down the fucking waterfalls are worse. There's more to hate in that film, yet everyone latched on to him hiding in a fridge, which is no more ridiculous than them jumping out of a plane on a raft and going down a mountain in Temple of Doom.
I think what it's a real indication of is many people didn't watch past 20 minutes. They just left.
Yeah.
I can't really blame them. But
So, the one I hate the most is the Loki fan theory. Have you guys heard this one?
is this the one that was posted on the website?
Yeah. That Loki's grandmaster plan was to lose the Avengers.
This one doesn't make any sense.
What? Hold on. What number is it?
It's number 9. Basically, the thing is, Loki doesn't want to rule Earth. He has no point in ruling Earth. So he purposely loses the Avengers to be taken back to Asgard so Thor 2 could basically take place, and everything goes to his plan.
Why would he not just surrender? Like, I give up, take me back to Asgard. Like, why would he...
Yeah. Go
like,
Rich.
there's...
Well,
Yeah.
he did get caught pretty early in the film. Avengers.
But he then uses it to manipulate the Avengers to keep the fight going. He should have just quit there.
Huh?
My
Yes.
point, there's a point where your fan theory becomes too clever for the film, where you have to, like, this is the Loki love, where everyone thinks, Loki's the best thing ever, so he has to always be right. It's like,
what?
he's
The thing is, Loki's not some grandmaster schemer. Loki's not even all that smart.
no, he thinks he's clever than everybody else. I mean, to be fair, he's clever than Thor because Thor likes to hit things.
Yeah,
But-
he's
Loki's
more,
pretty. That's his charm.
He's more suited to be the ruler of Asgard, if we're being honest. But, like, he's not this master schemer Thanos guy. Like, he's Loki.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can solve a lot of problems as ruler of Asgard by hitting it with a hammer.
It's
Just saying.
true. I have seen 4 films where hitting it with a hammer fixes everything.
Just wait for Thanos to die by getting hit in the head.
Steel?
No, you have to make a free throw to solve the answers in steel
Oh, okay.
with a grenade.
With Shaq's percentage from the yard there, I don't think that's gonna happen.
But just remember, it's not as bad as Kazam. That's Green Egg and Hammett.
I want that when Disney makes their Genies movie that no one wants. I want them to cast Shaq.
God damn.
Anybody else got
Can
any
you
theories?
imagine the contract negotiations for that? It's like, hey, Shaquille O'Neal, we need you to come back for some shooting because we need you as Kazam.
Really need you to play
what?
Kazam.
What? No.
Yes.
We knew when we decided to make a prequel about Aladdin's genie. We knew since we couldn't possibly get Robin Williams back from the dead, we knew we'd need someone else who could take on that role, and we think you're the one for it.
The only other person who's ever played a genie in film.
In the history of filmmaking.
Okay, do anybody have any other fan theories before we close it out? Because we're running a little long.
One I always Star Wars one. You know, the prophecy that Anakin Skywalker was the one to bring balance to the Force. And they're like, oh, the prophecy must have been wrong because he becomes Darth Vader, and kills all the.
Hey, just remember.
I mean, I know back in like the 20s, they had a prophecy that there was going to be a guy who's going to do some
kill
great
all the
shit.
Jews. I mean, what?
They're like,
So,
clearly he couldn't have been the guy prophesied. So people are like, oh, they must have meant Luke Skywalker because he's the one that kills the Empire. My feeling on it is, no, clearly Anakin Skywalker does bring balance to the
He
Force.
does.
Because
No, actually,
Emperor.
he doesn't. He doesn't.
No, he does.
He then fucks it up.
Because he fucked
Let's
Padme.
think.
And he
Let's
created
think.
Luke Skywalker. If
But
he
let's
didn't
think.
fuck Padme...
Just shut up.
No. To bring balance to the Force, it's the Emperor and Vader, Obi-Wan and Luke.
Okay,
That's balance.
there you go.
Actually, it was Obi-Wan and Yoda. Then Obi-Wan
Exactly.
bites the dust, then Yoda and Luke. And then he
Exactly.
bites the dust, then it's Luke and Leia.
So he brings balance.
He brings balance. And then he kills everybody and throws everything out of balance because Anakin can't do anything right.
Because he hates sand. It's coarse and rough,
No,
and
killing
it gets
people is-
everywhere.
Killing people is how he brings things into balance.
Yeah, but at the end of the third, at the end of Return of the Jedi,
You needed to kill those kids to bring balance.
you heard it here
things are
first.
about, kids.
I don't know
Come here.
about. I'm just talking about by the end of the Revenge of the Sith, he's fulfilled the prophecy.
Yes.
Yes.
So what's the fan theory you don't like?
No, I'm just saying. I think the fan theory that he's not the one prophesized, that Luke is, or the fan theory that the prophecy was wrong.
All right, let's.
I fucking hate prophecies. Can we just make a big motion to not do prophecies ever again in movies?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Except
You're
for
real
when
sick of
aliens are
The what?
involved, then the guy from History Channel is like, aliens.
Aliens.
I do have one about Star Wars, though, and it's not like a hate or love fan theory. It's more about actual film structure. If you've never read up on the ring theory of Star Wars, read up on it. It's fucking amazing. It'll give you a new perspective on the prequels. Actually, I wouldn't say I respect the prequels now, but I have a new understanding about why the prequels are the way they are.
Oh, the idea that they're all named after one another and they kind of echo each other.
No. Yes, the fact they echo each other, but the fact that there are very specific instances about what they're echoing. Like, seriously, look up Ring Theory of Star Wars. You'll see it. It's like a fucking
I'll find it and post it in the links
huge-ass
below.
website. It's big.
So let's end this podcast right. I hope you guys don't fail me on this. But Generation Bangarang.
Yo!
Generation Bangarang.
Rufio! Rufio!
Oh!
Yeah. All right.
That's
Thanks,
the new
everybody.
generation. Welcome to the ballpark, everybody.
Oh, my God. That was-
Smee, what about Smee?
Welcome to the future.
So I heard that